in the universe, there are very many locations which are terrifying, whether it be the planet Skaro, obviously dominated by the Daleks, Mondas, by the Cybermen, Earth itself. Let's face it, pretty fucking bad in terms of the universe. The planet Midnight, not great in certain areas as well. But my question to all of you tonight is, what is the most terrifying location to wake up in the universe? For this question, I'm going to do you first, Ben.
Well, I've got a very simple, straightforward answer that I think you'll all at least see where I'm coming from. Inside of the 456 tank in Children of Earth. Literally inside that. Nobody wants to be there. Nobody wants to be anywhere near that monstrous, just vomiting up acid creature. Nobody wants to be near that kid. And even if you go outside, there's fucking politicians. So you're fucked. Nobody wants to go there.
And then you're in London.
What a dump.
So that's it. That's all I've got.
I think that's all you need for a second. No, that's very good. Will, over to you.
So my location is it was a story that was actually mentioned earlier by Ben, so he must concede that this is the superior choice. This is the prison ship from the God Complex. In other words, that 1980s hotel, which is being stalked by the Minotaur, which is masquerading as a god on board the ship, which has turned into somewhere with horrible decor, which is probably the scariest part about it. But if you remember from the story from Series 6, each room is intended for one of the victims who was brought on board the ship, and it contains their biggest fear. One room had a big clown in it. One had a PE teacher that was very, very shouty and angry. One had one of the characters' fathers being very disapproving in there. Another one had a weeping angel, etc., etc. So it's not just a big smorgasbord of everything that can and will kill you, maybe. But I think you could actually go into a room that is not specifically tailored to you and still find something scary, because, it will get the scariest thing to you, not just, I'm sure people are scared of multiple things. The Doctor even actually sees something inside of his room. He sees the crack in time as well, which is apparently his greatest fear. Who knew? We get existential in here in this hotel. And if that's not scary enough, you've got a massive 8-foot Minotaur that roams around. You've got the room with creepy puppets, as mentioned in the Goosebumps example. I'm terrified of ventriloquist dummies, etc., etc. And like I said, the decor, horrifying.
Praise him.
Praise him.
Sam.
For my pick, I'm picking the Satan Pit, because there's a big red scary guy down there.
Oh, is that it? Oh.
He's Satan.
Okay.
Satan.
It's pronounced Satan, actually. Fight.
I think while the 456 chamber is, of course, very, very scary, I do think that in the spirit of the topic, it's kind of like saying, I think the scariest location is on Brook Street in Cardiff when the Dalek shoots the 10th Doctor in the Stolen Earth, but you put yourself right in front of the laser bolt. I think it's very specific. It's like, okay, you're going into this specific room, this specific chamber inside the room for the scariest Doctor. Of course it's scary. I think when it comes to a big, scary Doctor Who place, you want maybe an all-encompassing place where either nowhere is safe or you don't know if it's safe, which can often be scarier. And I think that the Satan Pit is very scary, but you can just make friends with the red guy down there. He seems quite intelligent. He speaks to the Ood. You have that weird, sauce and that weird black goo that they hand
there's
you.
no sauce. I'm in the pit, man. I fell.
There's no sauce in the pit.
Maybe there's some source down there. I don't know. Nah, Satan, he's mean. I don't know if you've seen the Satan pit lately. He's mean. He knows stuff about you.
He calls you
tells
a virgin.
You're a virgin. You're a virgin. You're gonna die in episode 13. It's like, come on, fucking spoilers. That shit sucks. That's an awful place to wake up.
But he's
I
also
haven't got that far
liar.
yet.
Rose doesn't really die in battle.
Yeah, that's because he's a little messy bitch who loves drama. Lying's worse. It's stuck down there with a fucking liar. And he's Satan. Anyway. Thing is with the God complex is that everything you described sounds sick. I really, really want to explore the hotel and the God complex. Sure, I only have a certain amount of time in the hotel from the God complex, but not only is it a really fun location, I'm going to have fun in other people's rooms. People go to haunted mazes. People do seek these places out, and this is a variety room, a variety haunted house with a perfect theme, and I can just go in and laugh at people's fears. I can go chill with the angry alcoholic dads because he's got some beers lying around the place. I'm not scared of weeping angels, and they can't hurt me anyway. There's a minotaur. I'll get around to him. There's lots of monsters in Doctor Who.
He'll come to you, though. You don't get to choose when.
He's a Nimon. He's a fucking Nimon. Anyway.
You meddlesome hussy.
Oh, boy. Oh. 4, 5, 6, eh? Got anything else?
Satan, is he?
Nah, not quite. It is bizarre to think that you've just woken up in this tank, which is hermetically sealed. Did somebody put you in there as a prank?
This is Ben's origin story. He was that child.
You are one of the children from World War II who went to sleep, and you've woken up attached to the fucking crab. Yeah, I can see how that might not be ideal, but did you know, Ben, that every child attached to the 456 is injected and with a drug? So they're having a drugged up great time.
Oh yeah, they looked it. They look
drugged up beyond the eyeballs. Who
have you considered going into politics?
All I know is that they don't really know where they are. And that is actually stated not only in the wiki, but in the Torchwood Encyclopedia Guide and in the episode itself. They specifically state, no, it's okay that we're taking your children. We feed them this drug. It's humane. It's not. Of course it's not. It's horrifying to look at. Is it horrifying to be in? We don't know. And you know what? I would rather be drugged up than face to face with Satan.
I think, though, that both Ben and Davis's locations are reliant on there being the horrible entity in there. Because if you take the 456 out of the tank, you got a glass box. Whoop-de-doo. Whereas if you have the beast or the Satan taken away from the Satan pit, it's just Wookiee hole caves, isn't it? The Cybermen will be there in a few years' time. Whereas, I think the hotel of the God complex,
the Minotaur,
take the Minotaur out. You still have the creepy decor. You still have the legacy of the people who have been there before you, and this mystery to unravel, and everything that's in the rooms.
That's exactly it. It's a mystery, and it's other people's fears. I'm interested. I have something to do in the God complex if there's no Minotaur.
Aren't the fears pretty much harmless? We learned that from the Weeping Angels. All of these rooms, unless it's your specific room, are pretty much going to not hurt you. The dummies. And the way to get out of the God complex is to lose your faith in the thing you have faith in the most. And to be honest, we're in 2022. We're not well past that.
Well, that's why you must give yourself over to the Minotaur.
I can't find a number of how many rooms there are in the hotel. You are playing a gamble every time you get bored and wander into a room. Yeah, you could just dive for it. But that's what keeps it fun. It's a game of Russian roulette where the odds are in your favor.
You have to remember, though, it's not just what's in the rooms as well, because the ventriloquist dummies were in the dining room. They were, so the threats and the creepy stuff is not just relegated to inside of the rooms. Like the Minotaur, even if you get rid of the Minotaur, but it's still there skulking the corridors. You've got a fish tank. What if you're scared of fish? That's basically what the 456 is in a big tank.
That was the Sontaran's fear, the one on the frame painting. Yes. It's like he hated that fish.
Once again, from like the Torchwood Declassified Guide or whatever. It's all in that book.
It does have, and of course, the Torchwood Encyclopedia Guide is Ben's greatest fear in this instance. So that would be behind his room. I think that I've written a story, or at least bullet points at a story, sue me, that was just somebody making do and having to live in the God Complex Hotel. And just like, as a survivalist story, sure, it wasn't ideal, it wasn't comfy, but I did manage to write in some bits where they just were able to have fun with the place once they worked out its inner mechanics, because it's all just holograms. So this is a well-walked road for me. There's fun options in that. 456, we don't know what they're being drugged with. But right. I'm going to take my chances.
Sweet. I would say you're the one who suggested that you wake up as the child. I was more thinking you wake up, you're more from the cameraman's perspective. Either you wake up in the thing, unless you have a suit, you're fucked. And even then, unless you're one of the personnel, they might not let you out. This is a government that is getting rid of people like that. They might just leave you in there.
This is instant death. You're describing an instant death scenario.
Yeah.
It just occurred to me. You're going to die before you can be scared.
You're getting an instant death with Satan as well.
No, he plays with them a fair bit.
Ever seen anyone who looks more like he did not want to be in that room than that guy who went into the 456 tank? Because in the other ones, you know, the Doctor was at least having fun. The companions sometimes had fun. One of the guest characters might have said a joke. Nobody's having fun in mine. There is no fun.
Only in this scenario, you're only ever going into the 456 tank if you are a red shirt or if you are a kid getting drugged up on sweets. Whereas for the hotel and the God Complex, it does not discriminate. You've got people of like, faith is such a vague concept. It's almost like a loophole. One person believed in luck. So he was a gambler. He got taken into the hotel. You've got one character who was a Muslim who got brought in there. Amy had faith in the Doctor. It's so vague as to be like, yeah, we'll snap you up and take you in. Whereas you're only going into the 456 tank if you're like a poor kid from a disadvantaged background, as the politicians in the cabinet room say. You know, let's get the bottom 10% of performing students.
I do have to interject there. Wasn't it the question, what's the worst place to wake up in? Surely we're not just surely they don't have to think how they get in there.
That is exactly what I was about to say. The question was, what's the worst place to wake up?
Okay, then I concede that point then. I apologize for that digression.
He's off. He's walked off. He's forfeited.
He's left the
Then has forfeited.
Do we get a 10 count?
He's dancing. I have to ask. Well, I was going to say both of you, but Will has excused himself from the round. I thought I had excused myself.
Not the round.
I thought I had excused myself from the round at the start, so that's fine. We're back in, apparently. Where does your ones lead? You're going to die fairly quickly. You can even get out of them. There's a very easy way to get out of the God Complex. And especially when you're pitching it without the Minotaur, as this weird stipulation. Because we all have an evil, nasty baddie man. We've all got a nice baddie man. Mine just happens to be Satan incarnate, which not only raises the question of, he can't kill me. I am in here with the embodiment of evil who knows everything about me. And I'm going to be here until I die. Very slowly. Slower than yours or without assisted medication like Ben's. There's also the existentialist philosophical argument where I'm looking at Satan. Fuck.
Yeah. Which one looked like they were the most scared, I think is the most important thing. That cameraman in Children of Earth or any of the characters in the other one. They're all scared. I would argue he was the most scared.
In the Satan pit, however, let's not forget how that story ends. That two-parter ends with Ten and Rose we're the stuff of legend. Oh, let's just go away and have fun in Fear Her next week. Whereas the God Complex, it shakes the Doctor and the relationship he has with his companions so much that he actually departs from them. He sends them home, gets Rory a car, and leaves. It actually changes them fundamentally as people. Not saying that maybe putting Rory in the 4, 5, 6 box wouldn't do the same thing, but we work with what we're given in terms of the material examples of the stories.
I think in a narrative with this subtext, that's going to happen. But we don't. We are ourselves. We are hypothetically the no name in this waking up. I don't think I'm going to be able to defeat Satan. I really don't think he's going to put his body somewhere else.
Hold on.
It's going to be
Mr. TARDIS can defeat Satan. Everybody.
Give me 5 minutes alone with him.
I've just thought something. If you got out of the 4, 5, 6 thing, you're still going to be stuck in that building because they're not going to let you leave. You've probably seen and heard too much. So that means you're going to die when the building gets poisoned anyway. There is no escape from this thing.
Yeah, it's still a mercy killing. It's still a pretty quick death.
No. I don't want to...
Yanto takes 12 seconds to die.
Takes one for the team.
It's the only one that guarantees death out of all of us. You could get out of the God Complex. You could get out of Satan Pit. I mean, I guess going on to Fear Her is the worst fate out of all these three, but yeah.
Hypothetical situations. We don't need to be in the hotel whilst the events of God Complex are happening. I assumed we weren't. I'm definitely not going to go to the Satan Pit. I haven't fallen down in the Satan Pit when the Doctor's there. This is a very short amount of time. I'd love to hear your escape strategy for getting away from Satan in the middle of the black hole. You, Ben. Or Parody Ben. I'd love to hear how you would do that. It's a slow death for you, being taunted by the evilest cunt around.
So I think with both of ours, then it's just death either way. At least in Satan Pit, well, you're going to have to be stuck with the crew then, aren't you? Because
it's just me. I fell down. It's a place. It's a location. You're
literally just stuck in that pit. Okay. I mean, you're dead. I
starve to death slowly, and that's if he doesn't possess me. Satan has many powers, even when he's chained up, that can influence the environments around him. So I think he's going to be able to have to draw this whole situation out. I'll be honest. Entertainment doesn't come.
If we're thinking about our friends and family, if we're stuck in our respective locations, you're probably thinking, well, at least my family are back home, they're safe. I'm just thinking of my family that are going to have to live through the rest of Children of Earth. And
in London.
That's more horrifying.
Fair dues.
Okay, I feel like I can I think I can make a decision now because I feel like we're about to start spinning wheels on this now. Wow, that heated up. That did, and I'll be honest. Will, you were the front runner for a long time, for a long time, and I was like, damn, this is really going to break the fucking game now. But luckily, they both took you down. We're going, well, yeah, but a lot of this, you're looking at other people's fears, and actually, yeah, that does sound fucking rad. You know, doing that, you know, like going through, and yes, yeah, of course, there's a scary fucking Naimon's cousin running around, but like, and that's the case. And yes, my fear is in there as well somewhere. But again, it's a Russian roulette, isn't it? And you know, they die from fear, but they die. You know, they go praising him, don't they? So it's, you know, they don't. But I can't actually bring that up because neither of them brought that themselves. So I'm going to go to Ben.
My dreams of conquest.
I never thought about it as well. You know how the weeping angels are in that. The image of an angel in itself becomes an angel. So why are there not weeping angels going around, even if they're holograms? Because they're still.
I've often thought this. I've also wondered how you would get my fear into a room, which is fear of not matching up to the person I was yesterday. I don't understand how that would manifest into a room. But that's fine. That's fine. I'll take Ben, the one with the gorilla in it.
Ben, I love your pick, first of all, because, yeah, obviously. They're right, though. It's kind of instant death, where if you wake up in that room, you know, because even if you survive, you're fucked, you know, any way you look at it. But good pick. Sam, you were the weakest starting off, because you just said, oh, it's a scary red boy. And I was like, yes, okay. But then you really got into it, like you really got into your speed and talk about how he's gonna fuck with you, and he's gonna enjoy that, and he's gonna have, you know, because he hasn't got an awful lot of entertainment down there, and whereas they're both, you know, pretty quick deaths, he's gonna save that torturing you, and he's gonna call you a virgin, you know.
That sucks, man.
That's
my room, and my room is Satan saying I'm a virgin. And I got a bit Larry on this one.
Yeah,
but that's because it's the nature of the question.